You know that feeling, right? The modern workday has us pretty much chained to our desks. We sit for hours and hours, and we all know by now just how terrible that is for our health. But what's the alternative, really? How do we get some motion back into our lives without tanking our productivity? Well, today we're going to dig into the evolution of working while walking. And it has some seriously gritty origins that lead to a super high-tech, untethered future. So let's get moving.
Okay, so to get us started, I've got a question for you. What in the world could a rickety industrial catwalk, way up high above a factory floor, possibly have in common with one of those sleek, modern offices with a treadmill desk? Believe me, the answer is way more fascinating than you might think. And it all boils down to one single official term.
And there you have it. They both fall under the official OSHA definition of a walking working surface. That's right. The term that now covers wellness gadgets like treadmill desks actually came from the world of industrial safety, where the biggest worry wasn't about getting your steps in, but about, not taking a huge, dangerous fall.
So, how do we possibly connect the dots between an old school industrial catwalk and someone taking a stroll through the park with AR glasses on? Well, we're going to start with those surprising origins in industrial safety. Then we'll jump to the treadmill desks that we're all familiar with, and we'll really dig into the hard data on performance. After that, we're going to look to the horizon. What does it actually mean to work on the go with AR glasses? And finally, we'll see how the very idea of safety has to be completely reimagined for this crazy new mobile world.
All right, let's start at the very beginning. Long before we started hearing that sitting is the new smoking, the whole point of a walking working surface was purely about preventing really bad, catastrophic accidents in high-risk places. So, this is the crucial part. These original rules were made for things like scaffolds, ladders, and platforms, and the rule itself is pretty simple and stark. If you're on a surface with an open edge and it's 4 feet or more above the ground, you absolutely need fall protection. This was all about guardrails and safety nets, not ergonomics and burning calories. Okay, now let's fast forward to today's office. The hazard here isn't a sudden fall from a great height, but the slow, creeping damage from just sitting all day. And this brings us to the mainstream solution, the treadmill desk, which basically turns the office floor into a whole new kind of walking, working surface. But, using one correctly isn't as simple as just hopping on and going. The big ergonomic goal is to keep what's called a neutral body position so you don't cause new problems. This means your head is balanced, your elbows are bent just right, the monitor is at eye level, your shoulders are relaxed, and your wrists are straight. I'm telling you, getting this posture right is absolutely key if you want to avoid a whole new set of injuries. And that brings up another really important idea, organizing your space. You've got to think in zones. Your primary zone, that's what's right in front of you, is for the stuff you're always using, keyboard, mouse. The secondary zone is for things you grab occasionally. And the tertiary zone is for stuff you hardly ever need. This setup minimizes all that reaching and twisting, which becomes even more important when you're already in motion.
Okay, this all sounds amazing for our health, right? But it leads to the one big question that managers and, let's be honest, all of us ask: what about my actual work? And this is where we hit the central conflict of the treadmill desk, that trade-off between the health benefits and your productivity.
Let's just look at the raw data. Research from Brigham Young University found that, on average, a person's typing speed drops by about 13 words per minute while they're walking. Look, that's a real, tangible hit to your fine motor skills. You would definitely notice that if your job involves writing or coding all day.
And it's not just about typing. That same research showed around a 9% drop in a whole range of cognitive tasks. We're talking about things like processing speed, attention, and your working memory. So while you're getting all these great physical benefits, you are paying a small cognitive price, especially for the tasks that need a lot of concentration.
And hey, this isn't just one study. An analysis from back in 2009 showed a super consistent performance drop across all fine motor tasks: typing, clicking, dragging. The data's pretty clear on this. When you're walking, your precision definitely takes a hit. But here's the perspective we really need to hear. As neuroscientist Michael Larson, who is one of the study's authors, puts it, the long-term health benefits probably outweigh these slight performance dips. The whole idea is that a small, manageable drop in productivity is a totally worthwhile trade for avoiding the very serious health risks of being sedentary all the time. So far, we've basically been tethered to a desk, right? But what if we could just cut that cord completely? Let's move on to the next evolution of the walking working surface, a truly mobile setup that takes you out of the office and into the world. I mean, the tech stack for this is just incredible.
This isn't science fiction. People are building these setups right now. It all starts with an ultra-portable PC, but instead of a monitor, you've got AR glasses projecting virtual screens right in front of your eyes. You're typing on a split keyboard for better posture, it's all powered by a massive battery pack, and you've got AI software that completely cancels out street noise on your calls. It is literally a full office on the move. But wait, how in the world do you type while walking around a park? This is where the innovation gets really, really clever. Users have designed these 3D printed platforms with strong magnets that they just sit inside their pockets. The two halves of the split keyboard snap right onto them, creating these stable little surfaces. This lets your hands rest naturally at your sides, which totally eliminates neck and shoulder strain. It's just a brilliant ergonomic hack. And this brings our whole journey full circle, right back to the idea of safety. But the definition of safety has to evolve right along with the technology. It's no longer just about preventing falls from a catwalk, it's about navigating a complex, dynamic world. So let's compare the two. For a treadmill desk, safety is pretty mechanical, right? You use safety tethers, you keep clear zones around you, you limit your speed, and you wear good shoes. But for mobile AR working, safety becomes all about situational awareness. You use dark themes in your AR glasses so the black pixels become transparent, letting you see the real world. You've got hotkeys to instantly minimize all your windows for 100% visibility, and you choose safe, predictable locations, like parks.
Look, we've already untethered our data from the office, which lets us work from anywhere. The next logical step is to untether our bodies from the chair. The technology is already here, but it leaves us with one final big question. As we redefine what a walking working surface can be, are we actually ready to develop the new skills and the awareness we need to walk and work safely in this new world?